Hey everybody, welcome back to another Escape from Tarkov guide video. Today I'm covering some powerful mid-game assault rifles that will be competitive with even meta guns, but at a much lower price point. As a disclaimer before we get started, many of the parts for these guns require Mechanic 3 or 4, as well as Peacekeeper 4, so you'll have to have them unlocked, with Peacekeeper 4 being level 29 and Mechanic 3 being level 30, and I think Mechanic 4 is level 40. If you don't have them unlocked, you can just buy the parts off of Flea. So as with the previous video, I'm going to be doing an ammo overview to explain ammo choices before jumping into the rifles. The 4 calibers I'm going to be talking about today are 7.62x39, 5.45x39, 7.62x51, and 5.56x45. Each caliber only has one gun on this list, so I'll just speak specifically to each gun and then suggest what I suggest doing for it ammo-wise. For the AK-74N, I suggest using BT for a budget run and a Golnik for high gear runs. The reason for this is that a Golnik costs much less than BS and are relatively the same stat-wise, the biggest difference being that a Golnik has higher pen and less flesh damage than BS, though the penetration difference is pretty minor. In most cases, if you aren't landing headshots exclusively, a Golnik will be great. For the FAL, I suggest using M80 if you haven't unlocked M62 from Peacekeeper. If you have unlocked it, M62 is the way to go. Has slightly less penetration than M61, but has more flesh damage, and on top of this is a little under 4 USD per round, whereas M80 is about 1.7 and M61 is about 10. M62 is much better than M80, so the extra cost is worth it. For the AK-103, I suggest using BP-762. It will cost more than PS, but these guns generally kick pretty hard, so it's good to be using an ammo that drops the target quicker. PS works fine for budget ammo and does well up to tier 4 armor, but anything past that and it's significantly worse. Finally, for the MDR, I have a bit of a different choice. When it comes to 5.56 currently, prior to patch 12.7, the best option in my opinion is to top off the magazines with M995. Currently, this is an expensive choice, but it is better than running full mags of M995. It's very expensive and is only a bit better than M855A1, enough that it can change the tide of a firefight, but not enough to warrant its current price tag. So what I do is load 20 bullets into the bottom of the magazine, and then load 10 bullets of M995 into the top of the magazine so that they feed into the gun first. This allows you to take out heavily armored targets just fine, and if they somehow survive, the bullets that are M855N1 will do the rest. As I said in the previous video, these are just my suggestions, so if you guys use something else or have a differing opinion, let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to respond. Also, as a note, I'm now recording this video after 12.7 and the ammo types have not changed significantly, so the advice for 5.56 stays the same. The first gun covered today is the AK-74N. To start off, purchase one from Flea or Prepper 2. Next, you'll want to get a CAA RS-47 handguard from Peacekeeper, an RVG foregrip, a laser or flashlight of choice, a Tapco Saw AK pistol grip. Next, grab a Bastion dust cover and an RP1 charge handle, and a Zenit DTK muzzle brake from Skier. Finally, purchase a Zukov stock either from Peacekeeper or Fleet, depending on if you have it unlocked or not, and a sight of your choosing. I went with the UTech Holo sight for this build. And as a note, the Zukov stock is Peacekeeper 4, so level 29 for that one. Overall, this build will be very competitive as it comes out to 61 vertical recoil and 66 ergonomics, making the gun very controllable for a relatively low price point. Also, this gun works really well in CQB and mid-range, so you want to use it to those advantages. The FAL is a very powerful gun firing 7.62 NATO rounds. Paired with a very manageable recoil in M62 rounds, this gun is an absolute beast and will slap every tier of armor currently in the game. To start off the build, buy a stock FAL from Peacekeeper or Flea. Make sure to get one with a 21-inch barrel. Next, purchase the CASV FAL handguard, a 5-inch CASV Volter guide, an RVG foregrip, and purchase a 4-inch guide as well and put a flashlight or laser sight of choice on the gun too. Next, get the duty dust cover from Flea or Mechanic, and this will allow you to install sights on the back of the gun. Pick a sight of your choice, and as a suggestion, a 1x4x combo works great with this build as the FAL performs really well at long range and can almost be used as a sniper rifle. Finally, purchase the SA58 BRS stock, the MMW FAL mags, they're the tan ones, and a FAL Fab AG pistol grip. This FAL ends up with 66 ergo and 88 recoil. For a 7.62 NATO gun, the recoil is pretty low and will definitely mow through anybody standing in your way. If you recall, in my previous video, the 7.62 MDR came out to about 100 recoil, but had about 84 ergo, so between the two guns, the FAL will be the best recoil, but lower ergo, and the MDR will have better ergo and lower or higher recoil. Due to the recent buff of the 7.62x39 AKs, the 103 has become an absolute beast. As mentioned, I would use 7.62 BP with this build. To start off, you're going to buy an AK-103 from Fleet or from Prapor 3. From there, you're going to buy an AK-100 PT lock, a Zenit PT3 Classic Huff for that PT lock, an SRVV muscle brake from Mechanic 3, a Bastion dust cover from Skier 2, a sight of your choosing, and with this gun a 1x 4x is great as well, just like the FAL because the 7.62 BP is great at range. A Tapco Saw pistol grip as well from Peacekeeper 2, an RP charging handle from Skier 2, and a 30 rounder Palm US 7.62 AK magazine. You can either use the tan ones or the gray ones depending on how you want the gun to look. The last items on the list are a 4.1 and 2.5 inch M-LOK guide, and then you can pick a laser sight or flashlight of choosing and grab an RVG foregrip to put on the M-LOK guide from Peacekeeper. This build is very solid and it has 71 recoil as well as 74 ergonomics, and those stats are insane to me. You can get lower recoil, but not by much, and I think you sacrifice some ergonomics as well. Overall, this build is going to be more than capable in head-on PvP. As in the DMR video, the build for the MDR is pretty simplistic. We're going to start off with buying a 2.5 inch and 4.1 inch M-LOK guide, and then an RVG foregrip from Peacekeeper, and you can put on whatever flashlight or laser sight that you'd like on the 2.5 guide. Next, swap out the default muzzle brake for a Boltec muzzle brake from Mechanic 4. If you don't have access to this one, use the highest recoil reduction for your level. Along with that, put any kind of scope you want on your gun. For the purposes of this build, I'm going to be using an EOTech hollow sight again. The final piece for this gun is to swap the base magazine out for an HK Steel Mag, as this has the lowest hit on ergonomics out of any of the cheap AR-15 magazines. This gun's stats come out to 64 vertical recoil and 84 ergonomics. Now, this isn't fantastic recoil control for an assault rifle, especially a 5.56 one, but this is where the gun outperforms others is in tight spaces. Having high ergonomics means that you can hold an angle for longer, and you also aim down sights quicker too. On top of that, because it's bullpup and the rifle has a relatively small profile, unlike other longer assault rifles, you aren't likely to have your gun pushing up against walls or doors when you need it to be down. Thank you guys again for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you would consider supporting the channel, I now have a Patreon set up with a link in the description below. I'm going to be uploading regularly from now on with 2 videos going up per week, most likely on Mondays and Fridays. And if you want to get a more behind the scenes of the videos and just chatting with me, you can join my Discord with the invite link below. I also stream Tuesdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and a link for that is in the description as well. I'm going to be doing some more experimental videos with different styles of content in the coming weeks and months, so stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.